I'm excited to sit down with you because I really appreciate Will and what he's done for my girlfriend Allie. And he's just like, he's the type of guy that he just wants to help everybody. And you can see that people kind of gravitate around him and enjoy him.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to figure out where that came from.
My dad.
Your dad? Yeah. He spent a lot of time with him.
When we moved out to the canyon, we moved next to him.
Okay.
So my dad was a kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
But in the Navy, he was an aviation machinist mate, which is a fancy word. He took care of the airplanes.
Oh, okay.
He flew in.
Was he like, he flew in them or did he fly them?
He flew
or
in
he
a
rode with
torpedo
them?
bomber.
Oh, wow.
He was in the turret.
Oh, he was a gunner?
Yeah. And then he took care of the plane when it got on the carrier.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the Saratoga, which was
oh, yeah.
There's the Lexington and the Saratoga were the first two real aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did they is Saratoga still going? Or did they decommission the Saratoga?
That newer Saratoga has been decommissioned. It was CV-60. He was on CV-3.
Oh, okay.
2 was Lexington and 3 was, see, they go up in numbers.
Okay.
According to how they're built.
Okay.
So the first one was actually a test, and they put a deck on a coal ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they just had biplanes in,
Yeah.
So even in the 30s, they were still learning how to use and land and take off of the carriers.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, they had accidents every time they took off. So somebody went off the deck or crashed or something.
I believe it.
I got a book.
Were they did they have launching mechanisms yet? No, it was just all power of the plane.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the Lexington and Saratoga were bigger than newer ships.
Oh.
They were longer.
Yeah.
But they consumed a lot of fuel.
Oh, I bet. And they were steam powered? They were coal and then fire steam?
They were what do you call it? They used steam to power generators that propelled the ship and did all electricity and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's wild. Like you look at now, they probably had to be bigger because they didn't have the mechanisms to get the plane accelerated or things like that.
Well,
they didn't have jet engines. I mean, the propellers.
They revved the engines up pretty hard. That's one thing they had to learn. Build the planes heavier because they had to take structurally they had to be able to take the landing and takeoff, but they also had to, before they took off, they had to rev up the engines pretty high.
Yeah.
And hold the brakes.
That makes sense. Like a drag race.
And the ship's going like this. So about the time it went down here like this, they'd flag the guy to go off, and then he'd come up like this, and he'd take off.
Oh, so we had more.
Yeah.
In case when he came off the edge, he had more time to.
If you ever watch 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, you'll see them. They weren't really carrier planes because they weren't meant to be.
Yeah.
But they had to do that to get those bombers off.
Yeah. And at that time, we were the only ones that had carriers, weren't we?
No. Japan had the best.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were the first to have an aircraft carrier.
England had carriers.
Oh, okay.
That was about it.
Okay.
For people who had carriers.
That was something. So
I don't think Italy or France had any.
So back then, so your dad, he became a jack of all trades probably because logistically you couldn't just bring people in and off boats all the time. So you probably had to learn all different types of things.
He was kind of a jack of all trades before that.
Oh, was he farming?
When he was a kid, they were farmers.
Yeah.
And he used to go to the junkyard and buy a Model T or a Model A for $5, he said.
And put it together?
Yeah, put it together. He said he could put a Model A together blindfolded.
Oh, I bet. They're a neat car, the Model A's. Yeah, my grandpa has a couple.
Yeah.
And I know he built one, and my mom said there was a bunch of parts in boxes.
Yeah.
Next time she went out to the shop, there was a car sitting there. Do you know if he ever did? Do you know if he ever did one of the snowmobile Model Ts?
No.
Oh, I've always wanted to see one of those. Those are so neat. Have you seen those?
Most of us had one in the 20s.
You guys had one? Or
no. I'd seen pictures of it.
Yeah, they were neat. I think my grandpa said you could order the kits on like the Sears catalog or something like that.
Well, you could order a car.
Probably the car too.
In the 50s, you could order a car.
Yeah.
From Sears.
Isn't that something?
In fact, there's one on sale at Marketplace.
Oh.
It's called an Allstate, but it was a Henry J. What it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have to look at that. That's so interesting. And now Sears I think is out of business. Isn't that wild?
They're not completely out of business, but they're
close.
Close.
Yeah, it's sad to see those old.
Everybody thinks Montgomery Ward's out of business, but I got a catalog.
Oh.
About 3 months ago.
I wonder if they're strictly online or something.
They're back east.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're just mostly online.
Okay.
It's just a little thin catalog.
Yeah, not like the big old ones. Yeah.
No.
That's funny because even in like my childhood, I remember like Christmas came and all of a sudden there was those big old, and man, you'd flip through that thing. We were all waiting
for the Christmas catalog.
Yeah, isn't that something? That's like, I remember that. Even when I was young, you could not wait for that thing to come and see what cool toys they had or whatever else was going on.
And when school was about to start, my mom always ordered from Spiegel's.
Oh, what was Spiegel's?
So we got a great, you never heard of Spiegel's? Oh, it's another catalog outfit.
Oh, of course.
She'd order all our school clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Come in a big box.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
Of course, some of the stuff I didn't like, but I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, not many kids did have a choice so much, back when you were growing up. I think times have sure have changed. We give our kids a lot of choices.
That's why I started working early.
Yeah. So when did you start? When did you graduate high school? Or where were you born at? In what year?
I was born in Pasco.
Pasco?
But I lived here.
Okay. And you were born in what, 44?
46.
46?
Yeah.
I was trying to do some math quick on your yearbook here. Man, that's something. What was it like growing up here in the 50s?
The 50s?
Was it booming?
Downtown here was it. That was it.
All this was farmland.
If you wanted shoes, you went to Penny's.
Yeah.
There was a shoe shop down there, and the guy was in a wheelchair with a crank that he cranked himself around.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He'd been bit by a tick.
He got Lyme disease.
And there was when there was a parade or something, I seen all these military guys, ex-military, but there was one guy that was on a platform. I mean, from here down, there wasn't anything.
World War II, probably.
Yeah, and he had these leather glove things, and he propelled himself around.
Yeah, I bet. Was that pretty common then? Did you see a lot of people with some pretty devastating injuries?
That was the only one I seen like that. Andy Miller, he had lost an arm.
Yeah.
He was a insurance guy around here.
Oh.
And I worked with his son, and I went to school with he had some twins. They were, no, Andy didn't. His brother did. Had a set of twins. And one of them was a state wrestling champion. Oh, wow. They were little guys.
Yeah.
But they both went to college on a what do you call
scholarship?
It? Scholarship.
Yeah.
And one of them held up a store or something while he was got in trouble.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you can go one of two ways. Yeah. So in high school, did you play any sports or anything, or what were you involved in?
No. My dad was kind of adamant about that. He says, you can't make any money playing sports.
Yeah. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that.
But I always regretted. I was in track in junior high.
Yeah.
But other than that.
Yeah. Surprised you didn't play baseball. It seems like everybody else played baseball back then.
I played Little League.
Oh, yeah.
But not for the school,
Right. Yeah, it's fun. My grandpa actually played baseball here for the
We had a
Tri-Cities
baseball
Adams.
team here.
The Adams?
Huh?
The Adams, right? The minor league team?
No.
Or which?
Tri-City Braves.
Oh, the Braves?
Yeah.
When was that? I think that was after
in the
that.
60s.
Yeah, that was after the Adams.
I never heard of the Adams.
Yeah, my grandpa played here 1953. Actually, a picture of him out here. Not for the Adams, but this is his team. Yeah. They were
the field was at Sanders Field.
Yep.
Was across from what's it?
It's where Safeway is now, right? Or something?
No, it's across there was a 7-Eleven sitting there on Clearwater.
Yeah, my grandpa was trying to figure it out where the field was.
Yeah, by Moraine.
Okay.
There was a bowling alley on the other side of the street, and one end was a bowling alley. The other end was, I believe it was the plumbers and steam fitters.
Okay.
Because they brought a bunch of groups in.
Oh, I bet. For the Hanford and stuff?
I don't know.
Or just to build.
Just, they just brought them in. They had a big stage or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I think they ended up being the Tri-Cities Braves, and then they changed a couple times.
Oh.
But yeah, my grandpa played just for a few weeks here. I think he was 19 years old or something. And then they sent him over to Seattle.
Oh.
For the Seattle Rainiers. But I wondered if you'd ever watch baseball. I thought maybe I caught up with somebody that maybe watched my grandpa.
When we were in Little League, they sent us over there.
Yeah.
We got to get a few instructions from the
ball players?
The ball players.
Oh, that's cool.
That was kind of cool.
Oh, I bet.
But their grandstands were all wood,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't want to spend too long sitting there.
In fact, a few years ago, there was still part of it. If you went back in behind 7-Eleven, there.
Oh, really?
You could still see there was some concrete there. I think that's where the dugouts were.
Oh, man. That would have been neat. I always look back on, you see the old videos of black and white baseball, and all the guys are dressed so nice, and they're out there with their scorecards and keeping all the stats, and it was
and
really
everybody
something.
in the stands had cards.
Yeah.
Our neighbor, he was a farmer from Missouri. He farmed with horses, and my best friend was his grandpa.
Oh.
I believe he was a big baseball fan because he had tickets to go to the baseball games all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are things that you look back on in that time frame in the 50s that you remember for socializing? What did all the kids do?
We rode bikes.
Yeah. All over.
Built forts.
Yeah.
I went to Hawthorne one year. The first year it was open. There was no grass, just sod, and we built forts.
Oh, yeah. The good stuff. Yeah, it's fun. I wonder how many kids build forts these days. Yeah. It's not there's something,
we didn't have all this electronic stuff.
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of, that's one thing I think about with my generation is I'm the last generation before all that stuff.
When I started kindergarten, what was I going to say? We didn't have a TV.
Oh, yeah.
We was the first ones on the block to have a TV.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And
do you remember the first thing you saw on the TV?
You could see a shadow of black and white.
Yeah.
It was a Western.
Yeah.
And it got so bad, the whole neighborhood, you know where Green Street is?
I'm not too
across from
familiar.
Fred Meyer's.
I don't know. I'll have to
You know where
look.
Fred Meyer's is?
Oh, yeah.
It's right across. That's where I grew up.
Oh,
That was
okay.
my grandparents' farm.
Oh, okay.
And my friend's the Missouri farm.
The one that your grandpa was
Yeah.
your best buddy?
Yeah. He had the next farm west, and there was a farm just to the east of us. The PUD sits on part of my grandparents' farm.
Okay.
And because they cut the farm right down from corner to corner, made 2 triangles.
Oh, I wonder why they did that.
They wanted $3.95.
Oh,
They don't give you a choice.
Oh, I see. That was your choice. I see. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it seems like, that's one thing I've learned doing this. Not a lot of people had a lot of choices when it came to what the government or somebody was doing back then. You kind of just got told what to do. So when you got the TV in the neighborhood, did all the neighborhood come over? Did you guys have a party?
Coming over, and finally, my folks they wanted fed.
And what did they feed them, or did they start charging? Or
they were feeding them. Then they left the house. Every evening at a certain time.
Oh, that's something. These are like the old cowboys and Indians westerns?
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah.
But on the old TVs, all you could see was black shadows.
Was it really something? I bet, though. Gosh, I couldn't imagine. That'd be so wild.
We had Uncle Jimmy. You could see that.
That was a show?
A birthday club for kids.
Oh, okay.
And then it turned into Burt Wells when they got a studio down here. All the signal came from Yakima.
Oh, okay.
So we only had one station.
Yeah. And a big old antenna on top of your house, or what?
Yeah.
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 That's funny. I even remember those. That's wild. That's fun. Did you guys listen to the radio a lot before the TV? Were you guys a radio family?
When I went to kindergarten, I'd run home to listen to a certain program on the radio.
Do you remember what they were?
Something from Cincinnati. I don't remember.
Oh, my high school girlfriend's grandpa's name was Richard Hansen. He's still around, but he loved the radio, and they had a cabin up in Granite, Oregon, gold mine cabin, and he would take a battery pack thing up there, or the generator, whatever it was. Maybe the battery was at camp when we go hunting camp, but he would turn on when he got a satellite radio, Sirius satellite radio. This is back in the early 2000s. He's like, we slept up in the top of the cabin, and he would listen to these mystery shows at night. Oh man, it's some of my, I just got goosebumps thinking about it. It was some of my favorite memories because it was still the old voices. And I can't remember the name of them. I need to ask him. Like Diamond something, or Detective Diamond, or did you ever listen to any of those?
My brother-in-law does. They're still on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're incredible. And the voices of the characters are just
When
incredible.
I was a kid, my dad, I got for Christmas a crystal radio. You know what that is? It was a headphones, and it had a tube with wires and running along. And it had a big long wire. It went out to the garage.
Okay.
So there was no electricity on it. You picked up the signal, and all over the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so the crystal must have been part of the mechanism that would, for the harmonic or the frequencies.
It was just like a copper arm that you slid along the roll. There was wires like a toilet paper roll.
Yeah.
It was wound up like that.
Oh, that's cool.
I always miss that. I always liked that. I'd lay there at night listening to it because that's when you got the best reception.
Oh, at night?
Yeah.
Is that because the air's denser at night? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know
either.
Something to do with the atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay. Like it doesn't get solar interference or something like that?
I guess.
Must get like radio fade or whatever they call it. That's incredible. So your parents what'd your dad do for work?
He worked at the railroad.
Oh, okay. He was a pretty handy guy.
Well, let's see. We were in an old house when I was really tiny. It belonged to my great grandma. And we got out of that thing. It was rat infested.
Yeah.
He worked for Lamson
Oh, okay.
before Lamson was big.
Yeah.
He was just a house mover then.
Okay.
And he never had enough money to pay my dad. He gave him a check, but he didn't. He told him to hold on to it. He'd make it
yeah.
good. He did make it good. He always made it good.
Yeah.
And
people were pretty good about that back then, weren't they?
They were honest.
Yeah.
My folks bought a house on 2nd and Vancouver. Those were brand new then.
Okay.
I think they were $12,000.
Oh, geez.
And my dad couldn't find work anywhere. He'd hitchhike out to Hanford trying to get a job, but at that time they weren't hiring. So they just took the keys on down to the finance company and dropped them off. They didn't even get a warning or nothing. They knew they couldn't pay, so they just took them back.
Yeah.
And dropped them off. And my dad bought an old shack at an old trailer house, 1 room, oil furnace in it, and that was it. There was nothing else in it.
Yeah.
No water, no potty. We had an outhouse. It was on the farm. Like they bought an acre on the farm.
Okay.
And that's where we were at. There was a spigot out in the yard. And we were there till 53.
Oh. Looking back on it, was it pretty fun? Or was it hard?
I never know. In them days, we had a lot of thunder and lightning.
Oh.
So I always liked it,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandma was just down the road, so if we wanted to take a bath, she had a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's something to be said about having your grandparents down the road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, I love my grandparents.
Well, it was just my grandma, because my grandpa died in 49.
Oh, okay.
So I'm about the only one that remembers him.
Oh, yeah. That's lucky. A lot of people, even like nowadays, a lot of my friends don't have their grandparents or never got to be around them. Yeah, that's, like I told you, that's why I do this. I just love my grandparents.
My grandma and her sister married brothers.
Oh.
So her brother, my grandpa's brother, looked just like him. So after he died, and if we'd go visit him, my Aunt Charity, that was her sister,
yeah,
would get mad because I'd call him Grandpa.
Oh, that makes sense. You were still pretty little.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were about 3 or 4 years old, 3 years old when he passed, or what'd you say, 49?
Yeah, I was probably not quite 3 years,
okay.
About 2.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But my sister was born when we were down in the Vancouver in 2nd.
Oh, okay. And then, so you were in the shack. Was it like an old chicken shack that was like retrofitted, or do you know what it was?
It was an old wooden trailer house. It was only not much longer than this room.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And there was a door in the center, and right across from the door on that other wall was the oil furnace.
Yeah.
And my folks had a couch here that they made into a bed.
Yeah.
And I forget where I slept.
Yeah. Of course, you were
sleeping.
There
was a rat that was coming in, and my dad had his 22 there, and I woke up and I fired the 22 into the chest of drawers.
Oh. Yeah, well, I got to take care of business. What do you say to that?
It didn't sit there loaded anymore.
That's something.
He was after that baby.
Good thing it wasn't a 12 gauge.
But, after we were there, probably 1950 or 51, he built a bedroom on the back of it.
Yeah.
So the kids, my middle brother was born in that meantime. So me and my sister and my middle brother, we all slept back there, and they still slept on the couch.
Oh, isn't that
But
something?
hide a bed.
Yeah.
And my mom had a grill like this, about like that.
Like a cast
And
iron
she
type
cooked
grill, or
cast iron,
yeah.
and she took it over to, you know where Highlands is? Highlands Middle School now.
Not really. I
On
don't.
Union and 7th. Mr. Ease is there or something.
I don't know.
But there used to be a big building there. It was a dance hall.
Okay. Of
So
course.
they ran the dance hall.
Oh, they like to have a good time.
So, well, they ran it. So
Yeah.
they'd go down to Safeway downtown here.
Yeah.
And buy candy and gum and stuff. And my eyes would be rolling out of my head, and I'd beg till I was going to have some, and I never got any.
Yeah. Oh man, the stuff we take for granted now.
Yeah, they had Western bands and dancing and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Square dancing. My dad liked they called it the schottisch.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's some kind of
I'll have to look it up.
circle dance of some sort.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so neat to like listen to the stories about how people socialized back then. They got together a lot, it seemed like.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. Lots of
His dad worked in the steel mill, and he's also a farmer, but he also played guitar. He had a double neck Gibson.
Oh,
they had barn dances.
Man,
and one of them played I think his brother played. What's that little round one?
The banjo.
No,
the mandolin.
Mandolin.
Oh yeah,
he played the mandolin.
Yeah, that's fun. Back then, it seems like so many people played instruments. Do you guys still have the Gibson?
No.
Is your family? Oh,
no.
Boy.
Everything disappeared.
Oh, yeah. I'm so lucky. I'll show you when we're done. Those two guitars on the right.
Yeah.
Those were my grandpa's. My grandpa from my real dad's side, he was an amazing guitar player. That one's a Gibson. The other one's a Gretsch, 72 Gretsch. But, yeah. That's did you get to go down to the dance hall at times? And
no, that was before I was born.
Oh, okay, I see.
He died in 40.
Oh, that was your grandpa that ran the dance hall. Sorry.
Oh, the dance hall here?
Yeah.
That was my folks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the one that had the guitar was his dad.
Yeah.
And he died in 41, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And that's when my dad joined the Navy.
Okay.
Just before the war, about 6 months before the war.
Okay. So when you growing up here, and you went to after high school, you went into college. You went to college.
I went to CBC.
Oh, that school's around then here.
Oh, it's CBC started in 1955.
Okay.
So it's where it was at now, but it doesn't look like it.
No, I bet not.
Yeah,
that's quite the school.
2 buildings.
Yeah.
Oh no, 3. There was 3 buildings. The main building, then the one that they did. I had mechanical drawing or whatever you want to call it there.
Yeah.
And then they had the gym.
Oh, okay.
And that was it.
So it was like an engineering and sports, or is that?
Well, they taught auto mechanics and things like that.
Okay.
They always had a nursing program.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 2 things you probably needed a lot back then: auto mechanics and nurses.
Well, my brother-in-law took auto mechanics there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
And my father-in-law tried to send me over there to do learn how to metal lathe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you figure it out?
I never went.
Oh.
It's still down in the barn. There's a big giant lathe down there. I mean, a big one.
Oh yeah.
And metal lathe.
Yeah.
And then he had another thing that shaved metal. You could dovetail with it. And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. And he had welder. Well, he gave my dad a little one that he had before. Mm-hmm. So my dad had a metal lathe too. They all knew how to work that stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like back then you had, as we were just talking about this on the last one, or, like with implements and all these things, people, when they homesteaded, They had everything you could think of because it's not like you could logistically just go get something.
They just go make it.
Yeah, you go make it.
Yeah. My dad make all kinds of stuff,
Yeah. It's fun. It's
and
so
then
fun.
my father-in-law, he could make stuff too, but he was a real intelligent person.
Yeah.
He'd sit down and read encyclopedias like they were books.
Yeah.
And he went to college up until just a few years before he died.
Yeah.
He'd go here, and then when they went to Yuma, he'd go down there.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
There's something that maybe people still do that. I don't know. My grandpa's best friend was like that, and there was no reason for it except he loved to learn.
Oh yeah, that's what my father-in-law.
Yeah,
he even built a telescope.
Oh really?
Had a mirror about that big.
Yeah.
It tracked.
Oh, he had the one with the gear where you could.
It tracked had a motor.
Yeah.
Tracked the star wherever you want, and then we all went together and got him a mirror, but he died before he could build it.
Oh,
it was a 22-inch mirror.
Oh wow! Do you remember anything you looked at through the telescope?
We looked at Mars and Jupiter. I don't remember too much.
Yeah, I bet that was really something.
Yeah,
and
he was always complaining about light pollution.
Oh,
you know what that is?
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you're in the city and you're trying to look up there,
even if you're near the city.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Especially like right now, with the meteor shower going on.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you get out there to a town like Glenwood or something, and it gets dark.
Oh.
And you look up, you could see the Milky Way. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, I had a little telescope, and we used to go camping up to Lyons Ferry. You know where that's at?
Yeah, northeastern Washington, right?
It's
on the Columbia or past
up the Snake.
Oh, the Snake. Oh no, I'm thinking of Kettle Falls. Yeah. Okay, no, I don't know where that's at.
I think it's up the Snake. It's up close to Dayton.
Oh yeah, it's
there's a town called Starbuck.
Oh yeah, yep.
And it's the river's right there close by. And there's a marina there, and we take the boat up there and had a pickup camper and load up.
Oh yeah.
And it got so dark there, you didn't even need a telescope; you could see it.
Isn't that something?
I mean, it was so dark.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, when you get out there in that direction, there's not a big city for a long ways. Yeah. Also, it's funny because people talk about Washington. They're like, "Oh, Washington." They think about Seattle. It's like that's a not even close. The most of Washington is.
Yeah, they think everything's over desert. On the West Coast.
Yeah.
Evergreen state. Yeah, well, not all of it is evergreen.
Yeah, about a third of it. Yeah, that's neat though. So after college, did you enlist in the military right after college?
I finished. I didn't get a degree or anything. I went back. My dad had, because he was railroad, I got a free ticket. I went back and visited my grandma in Ohio. That's where he was from.
Yeah.
And I came home, and I went to the Navy recruiter. They didn't have what I wanted, so I went to the Army. They sent me up to Spokane for a test. I wanted to be a helicopter pilot.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't a pilot. They give you all these pictures that are in black and white, and I wanted to know what angle your aircraft was at. Well, they all looked the same to me.
Yeah.
So they thought they had me.
Yeah.
But once I found out that they weren't going to let me be that.
Yeah.
I headed down to the Navy recruiter. I signed up immediately.
They didn't have to negotiate with you at the Navy after that.
No.
Then how did that go? How did that process go? As far as after you enlist with the recruiter, do they ship you right off, or did they schedule boot camps or?
No, I had delayed entry, as I remember right. I signed in 67.
Oh.
So I went to Spokane to fly out of there to go to boot camp in, I believe, January or February
Okay.
of 68.
Where was boot camp? Was it Chicago or Illinois?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. That's right. I was thinking that was the Marines, but I don't.
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
The Navy has only got one boot camp now.
Where's that one at? Do you know?
Great Lakes.
Great. That's why I was thinking of that, because they have
My
like.
dad went to Great Lakes when
Okay.
he joined.
Okay. How was boot camp? Do you remember?
Boot camp? I don't know. A lot of guys were homesick. I'd been more or less on my own a little bit. I lived at home, but
Yeah.
I did whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
I had my own car, so
And did you work through high school?
yeah. Well, high school, no.
But after high school, after high school, you did.
After high school, well, I worked in the summertime
Yeah.
from the time I was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I mowed lawns,
Yeah. Good for you.
and I saved the money up,
Yeah.
and I might have a little over $100 at the end of the summer.
Oh yeah.
And that was quite a bit
That's
of
a
money.
pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah, I got the shoes I wanted, not
Yeah.
the shoes my mom wanted.
Oh, I got to ask, what kind of shoes?
Uh,
Do you remember?
The fad was, they were like a moccasin. They were sewn around the toe.
Oh yeah, yeah, the mock toe or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they're slip-ons.
Yeah.
And we had, at the time they had, fad was to wear these big, thick socks.
Oh. Okay.
White.
Okay.
Yeah. And the pant legs come down to a stovepipe.
Yeah. Pretty cool. You know, those shoes are popular now again. Of course, they have laces, but the mock
we
toe.
had Converse too. They were
That's
popular.
what I was wearing mine. That's what I was wondering. I love it. It amazes
They
me.
were different than those though.
Yeah, these are a little bit different, but I have a pair of the other ones, like the Chuck Taylors. That design has been out
They're
for
real heavy canvas.
yeah, they're 100 years old. That design.
Yeah.
They still isn't that I think 102 years old now. If I remember right, I could be wrong, but I think Converse came out in like 1917 and they revamped it with the basketball player Chuck Taylor in like 21 or 22.
I never bought Converse, but I bought another brand, but it was they were essentially the same thing.
Yeah. What was your first car?
It was a 55 Dodge Royal.
Dodge Royal. Was that like the bulkier ones?
It wasn't really bulky, but they were all big.
They were all bulky, I guess, compared to now.
Yeah.
I think I can picture one. Oh, I'll have to look
It had
up
a chrome fin on the back that
Yeah.
you could take off. That's the first year I think that Dodge put fins on.
Okay.
And Plymouth had one that was stamped out part of the fender.
Yeah.
But they had a 270 engine in them with a 2-speed automatic transmission.
Yeah.
You could do 90 miles an hour in first.
Isn't that wild?
But
slow to get
takeoff was
slow.
slow.
Yeah. Long-legged.
You had to get up to 30 miles an hour.
Isn't that something? I always think about those cars were so cool back then. You know, you see all the movies and stuff, and I don't know how real the replication of the 50s are, but you know, you see a lot of those scenes and those cars, there's just so much craftsmanship in them.
Oh,
I think compared to some of the stuff now.
Yeah.
So when you were where were we at? Oh, you were in the Navy. When did you go when you went into the Navy, what did you go in for? Did they tell you like?
No, they give you a wish list.
Okay.
You put down your 3 wishes, what you wanted.
Yeah.
And
you rub the genie bottle at boot camp.
Then they give you whatever they wanted.
Yeah, of course.
So, I put everything aviation.
Yeah.
But I ended up radar.
Oh, that's close.
So I ended up in a room like this.
Okay.
In the dark with a radar screen.
With a bunch of screens, or was it one or?
My last ship had 2. The first ship I had only had 1.
Okay. So you went radar, your radars were on the ship?
Yeah.
You were out at sea on these.
Well, the first ship I wasn't at sea.
Okay.
It was in country Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
That was my first orders after I went to RDA school.
Okay. What is that, radar detection or radar? What does RDA stand for?
Radar A school. That's your first basic.
Oh, okay.
And it was in Treasure Island, San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And I took, right after boot camp, you had to go to BEEP school, which is basic electricity and electronics.
Okay.
I really didn't dig it.
Yeah.
So, but I could work the stuff, and I don't know. I did my job.
Yeah. And then you got sent to Vietnam.
Sent to Vietnam in in October, around the 31st or so.
Yeah.
And then bad stuff happened on the 1st.
Yeah. That was probably rough. Going to Vietnam, I can imagine.
That was the worst day for the Navy.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. We don't have to get into it if you don't want to. I think that's I know when I went, I did a report when I was in elementary school on the Vietnam War. I wish I could remember more about it, but when did it go till 71 or 72?
75.
75. I probably should refresh up on it.
I got out of there, and let's see, the last time I was over there, I think in 71. Middle of 71 or sometime.
So you were there for a few years, going back and forth?
I was in country for a year and a half. Then I got to my second ship. It was a brand new ship. And a week after I got there, they said we were going to Vietnam.
Wow.
Just what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I bet.
And then we broke down on the way. So
got delayed a little bit.
Well, we went to Hawaii. All the ships left us because we had something wrong. And when we finally took off, we broke down about halfway to Guam, and we lost one screw.
Oh, yeah.
And all radios went out. So we limped into Guam, which I'm telling you, you don't want to go to Guam.
Yeah. I don't plan on going anytime soon. Yeah.
It's not my favorite place.
I'll take your word for it. You talked me out of it real quick. Yeah. So when you were working on these, when running the radar, were you scanning for, I guess, like aircraft and everything around you?
Well, we had a surface radar.
Okay.
Although on my first ship, when we went to Japan for repairs, I did pick an aircraft up.
Oh, okay.
But he was flying.
Oh, yeah.
About 100 feet off the ground.
Oh, I see.
And I think it was a military thing. Right. They were checking us out.
Oh, okay.
Because we were close to Taiwan.
Okay. What was your parameters on your radar? Like your, so like your, what would you call it? Your ceiling and then your radius. What?
Oh,
do you
I don't know what the ceiling was. It wasn't very high.
Oh, okay.
You could pick a storm up.
Oh, okay.
They didn't go out very far. Yeah, I think you could pick things up about 20 miles.
Oh, okay. That's still quite a ways.
Yeah.
But
it was basically just for navigation, stay out of the way of other ships and stuff, so you didn't collide with anybody.
Oh, okay.
So we'd make recommendations on course and speed, or we'd tell them what the course and speed of the other ship was.
Okay.
You can figure all that out.
Yeah. I was wondering what kind of radar, because I'm not familiar with it, but the other day I was coming back from Miami and we saw a gentleman in the what hotel we got delayed overnight over in Seattle, and the guy had a B-52 hat on. So I didn't know if you guys talked to them, if you helped them with radar where ships were,
No,
how any of that worked.
We had I think we had a flight deck, but I'm not sure. I never seen a helicopter. So some of the boats had flight decks on them for a helicopter. One helicopter could land on them.
Oh yeah.
They were we repaired landing craft. They made them gunboats.
Oh, okay.
So the sides were all rebar with blocks of foam in there.
Okay.
About this wide.
Oh, okay.
And it would look like a cage around the boat.
Okay.
And so then they put a deck on top with some of them, so helicopters could land.
Oh, okay. Is that in case you had to get anybody on and off the boat, or just in case a helicopter needed to land or something?
Evacuate somebody or something.
Okay. Yeah. When you were working on these ships, was everything pretty procedural? I don't say that word very often. When you guys were working on these ships, were orders like very strict and things like that, or did you guys get to kind of innovate and do a lot of
beard.
things?
I smoked a pipe.
Oh yeah.
I got shaggy.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were kind of, we were more or less river rats.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't bother us a whole lot. The officers liked to antagonize us, but that's all right.
Oh yeah. So you could grow a good beard?
Yeah. They didn't say anything.
I wish I could grow a beard.
No, I don't like the beard. But
yeah. Well, so I got to bring that up
I just was being ornery.
Yeah. Will says you used to hunt a bit, and he said he could always tell hunting season was coming or something, and you'd get a little beard going. Or
oh yeah.
Yeah. It's funny about like men, they envy other people's beards. A man that can grow a good beard, the men that can't always envy him a little bit. He always instantly like, yeah, that guy's a little bit more manly than me. That's neat.
Yeah, we only had one barber on board, and he was a weightlifter.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get cut by him, probably.
But he was a nice guy.
Yeah, that's neat. It's fun because like you always wonder what it's like because my generation only gets to see that kind of stuff through movies. Of course, there's some good documentaries out of there, but I always wonder.
The same. You got to be there.
Yeah.
I really kind of miss it.
Yeah.
But you're living off the land more or less.
Yeah.
The guys on the boats, they had a bucket.
Yeah.
And they took the shower and dipped the bucket in the river, and when they was at the ship, they could go on board and take a shower.
Yeah.
But we fed them. But when they were out, they didn't have anything.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine. Was there anything over there? You don't have to answer any of these questions, but just out of curiosity, was there like do you have a moment out there in Vietnam that you were like proud of, or something that really like impacted you, or something like, was there a lesson learned ever when you were out there that you
don't get shot?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I bet. I always wonder like what kind of scenarios people come up with, or you just never know.
Well, they had where I was at, they had built a Army Navy base. They had dug a thing out, and the plan was to bring the ships into this lagoon. Well, luckily they thought better of that.
Yeah.
Because you had to go up a canal to get into it.
Oh yeah.
If they sunk a ship there.
Yeah. And they could
block the whole works.
Right. Well, and they could probably shut off the water to the canal if they wanted, couldn't they?
After the first month I was there, I got assigned to what they called guard mail for a month. And that was internal mail between ships and the base, It wasn't U.S. mail.
Yeah.
And I had to go to every ship.
You're right.
I had to go to every ship and pick up their reports and stuff.
How'd you get from ship to ship?
I rode one of them boats.
Oh, okay.
And one time they flagged us off.
Oh.
From going up that canal.
Yeah.
Because there was a village on one side and a guard post on the other side.
Oh.
And somebody had swam across with a line and put a hand grenade in the middle.
Right in the middle. Isn't that
and
something?
We were headed for it.
Boy, thank God somebody found that. Jeez. It makes you wonder how many close calls there were that you never even knew about.
Yeah.
Did they have underwater mines back then, like in the rivers then or anything?
They did.
They did? They were putting mines out there?
That's what I said, that November 1st was a bad day.
Oh, it was?
The ship next to us got hit.
Oh, man.
2 swimmers swam up and killed a lot of guys.
I couldn't imagine.
Didn't sink the ship.
Yeah.
It was an LST.
What's an LST?
Landing craft LST. Transport.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
You know, you've seen them in the movies.
Oh, probably.
They go up on the beach and open the door.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
It was our ammo ship, and they had just got a whole bunch of Army guys on board, and they all had hadn't turned their grenades or anything. Those were all laying all over the place, and the fuel was leaking, and they couldn't turn the juice back on because the captain thought it could blow up.
Yeah. Oh, man, I couldn't imagine. That's wild.
Like all the guys that were in the side of the ship, that's all berthing in a LST on the side. So that's what got hit.
Yeah.
They had a couple of barges next and a big log, and it imploded right into the ship.
Oh.
And I didn't know what it was for a long time, but I was watching a documentary, and they showed what the mines looked like.
Yeah.
They were magnetic. They stuck right to the ship. They were about that big around.
Wow.
Real crude looking.
Yeah, I bet. Like you see in the cartoons, the rough look.
And those guys got killed, the swimmers.
Yeah, I bet.
So.
Oh, it's too bad. Yeah, it's wild. I think I realize how lucky we are that like we haven't had a war here on our homeland in
you
so long.
You can look that up on Westchester County is the name of the ship.
Westchester County? I will look that up. I'm curious. I appreciate that. So how long did you spend in the Navy?
4 years.
4 years? On your, I know what I was going to ask you about. On your hat. What do they call your pins? Which one? What are each one of those?
Oh. This is Vietnam. I forget what it's called. It has to do with Vietnam.
Okay.
Oh, something's missing. The other one, this one here, is actually it's a Vietnamese medal.
Okay.
Everybody got them. And one of these is a Navy unit citation, and the other one's a presidential unit. This is a marksmanship, but it's not on here right. There should be an E on it. I just got some new ones, got this stuff. This one should have a star in it.
Okay.
Because I was over there more than 1 year.
Okay.
So this one, I got an E goes on that because I didn't even realize I was looking at my DD-214 and it said expert. This was actually marksman, but when you're shoot expert, then you got an E on
Oh,
there.
okay.
And then I got a combat action ribbon too.
Oh, I bet.
Which isn't on here because it didn't make it onto my DD-214. I've been trying to get it, but I got all the paperwork. So
how hard is it to get one?
if it's not on your DD-214, it's really hard.
Oh, I bet.
First I wrote to the Navy in Washington, D.C. They said they couldn't take care of it. They told me to go to St. Louis. That's where all the records are kept. I wrote them and sent them all the stuff. I haven't heard back.
Oh. Well, if I ever find out somebody that knows how to do it, I'll let you know.
I've asked all around, all the service officers and everything. Nobody.
Yeah. Seems like it's something it seems like it's something you think they'd make it, well, excuse me, I could see why they would make it hard to get, but you think they would have a pathway for the right person to get it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They do. I think they're just being lazy.
Oh, man. We can talk about that on another day.
I just carry this. I got my I keep it on me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, my DD-214.
Can I see it? I don't know if I've ever seen one.
Everybody gets one when they get out.
I guess I've never asked to see one. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's neat. Oh, yeah, it says expert pistol.
Mm-hmm. I got that on Guam. The only good thing on Guam.
What kind of pistol was it you were shooting?
1911.
19, of course. And you have a Bronze Star?
Hmm?
What's a Bronze Star? How do you
that means you bet on more than on that medal. It means I was there more than 1 year.
Oh, more than 1 year. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really neat.
If you were there 2 years, or 3 years, you'd get the ribbon and 2 stars.
Oh, okay.
And I think they changed the color after you got so many. I'm not sure.
Oh, probably. There's all different ways to. I'll make sure I fold that up right. Thanks for showing me that. That's neat. I got a lot of respect for people that were in the military because I never would have the guts to do that.
What?
Go in the military. I don't know why. And I never had the.
I'm going to tell you.
I thought
it's the best thing anybody can do.
I've heard that. I don't know why I didn't. You know, my sister-in-law at the time in high school, her brother was killed in Iraq.
Yeah.
My senior year, and I think I always just, I don't know. It just that one.
Well, you know, when I was over there, I just considered myself dead already.
Yeah.
So, I never thought I'd be more than 30 years old.
Oh.
So, you know, you put it out of your mind.
Yeah.
And you're all right.
Yeah. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine the mental strength it would take to do that. You're an incredible generation of men and women too. You know, we had
the incredible ones, World War II.
Oh yeah.
They were tough.
Yeah.
I mean, tough.
Hard. I always hear them described as hard.
Yeah.
Hard. Yeah. You know, I heard a story once of it was a friend of mine's grandpa. I probably get the story wrong, but I wish my grandparents continue like, oh, I wish you had Kenny Sheridan on here. But I think the story went that they were in Japan or the Philippines and they were out doing something in the jungle and a bunch of them had gotten, you know, eliminated and there was only a few left. Well, they ended up stealing I think it was they stole some of the Japanese clothing that they had killed, put it on, and took all the grenades they could, and they snuck into their camp at night when they were feeding. Yeah, and I think that's how that's how I remember it. I wish I could get it from his mouth. Yeah, and they went in and, I mean, they went into the meal line. Yeah, threw grenades all over and took off.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, could you imagine the guts it would take to do that? But yeah, we had I was going to tell you, I interviewed a lady here. She's a local lady here named Dolly, and she worked for the Air Force, and she was, she had a pretty good part in Operation Homecoming when they brought home the POWs, and she talks about that. And oh man,
Those guys.
I'll send you the link to the episode because it was something.
Bad.
Yeah. Yeah. She talks about the amount of patriotism that was there when they came home. But
unfortunately, we had a traitor.
Yeah.
Hanoi Jane.
Oh, is that documented?
Jane Fonda.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I saw that in a documentary actually. That's right.
Over at the American Legion, they got in the urinals, they got Jane Fonda's.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so you can piss on her.
Is that where you go visit with your buddies down? Is it the VFW or the Legion or?
I don't go to the American. I go to the American Legion every Friday in Benton City.
Okay.
But mostly I go to the VFW in Richland.
Oh, okay. Am I allowed to come down there sometime and visit?
Yeah, I can sign you in.
Can you take visitors? I was telling Will.
You have to get signed in.
Yeah, I was talking to Will. I'm not inviting myself, but well, I am kind of. I'm asking. It was a privilege.
I've signed Will in and Melissa both.
That's because Will and I were talking about that, and I was telling him I was like, I would love to go sit there one day, just sit down there and visit and spend a few hours visiting. I'd love it.
Yeah,
yeah. If you ever wouldn't mind, I'll talk to Will. Tell Will, but I'm sure there's all kinds of amazing people down there. So after you got out of Vietnam,
they don't talk too much about,
That's okay. I'd rather talk about the other stuff. I'll find some baseball fans or guitar players or some hunters.
We got there is a guy that comes every once in a while to, he's a guitar player and he works for the fire, all these fires around.
The wildfire guy?
Yeah, but he was what do you call them guys? Like a SEAL.
Oh, Frogman?
But he wasn't a SEAL, but he was at the Army.
Oh, he's a Green Beret? Army Ranger?
Well, kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But he goes around, he has dates that he goes around singing too.
Oh, yeah.
But he's been working the fires lately. He's Hank Kramer.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look him up.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to go see him play.
Yeah.
I love live music. Yeah. So when you got out of the Navy, what did you do after that?
Special Forces, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, Special Forces, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my friend Sarah, her husband Caleb just retired from.
Yeah.
Special Forces, yeah. It's wild. Those guys are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to look him up. Hank Kramer?
Hank Kramer.
Hank Kramer. Okay, I'll remember that. I had to say it again out loud. Yeah. So when you got out of the Navy, what year was it again? 71?
I got out in the day after Thanksgiving on 71.
71. Did you feel relieved? Do you remember how it felt?
I got in my car and I headed home and I got past Sacramento and got a speeding ticket.
They gave you a ticket?
Yeah.
You'd think you'd be able to talk your way out of that one real quick.
I was in my MG.
Oh, you a little
red MG. That's
a little midget convertible.
No,
or what was it?
It was an MG GT. It had a back door you could open up. Had a little back seat in the back.
Okay.
Only for kids,
Yeah.
But it had a deck in the back.
Yeah.
So you could put stuff back there.
Okay.
So it was one of the larger MGs.
Okay. I was going to ask. I was like, you look a little too tall for an MG midget, but.
No, midget was smaller.
Oh, yeah. I've sat in one. Yeah. I was not going to drive it very fast. You get hit with a bug as tall as I am, but.
I had bald tires because you couldn't buy snow tires in San Diego. So they ordered them. Instead of ordering them in Sacramento, they ordered them and had them sent to Portland.
Well, that doesn't do any good.
So that didn't do me any good. So I went up through there in the snow. I never skidded or anything, and I had bald tires on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. How was it driving up the coast back then?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I just didn't like San Francisco, or I didn't go through San Francisco. L.A. was bad.
Yeah.
Even then. Sacramento wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I just always wonder, like, driving the roads back then. Well, the interstate wasn't in yet, right? In 71?
Interstate 5 was there.
Oh, it was there?
Yeah.
When did they start the interstate system? Wasn't that Eisenhower? So it must have been the 60s?
Yeah. Eisenhower.
Yeah.
In fact, the highway down here was built in the 50s.
Oh, yeah. Late 50s, early 60s, right? Was Eisenhower?
No, it was 50s.
Yeah, 50s. Okay.
My dad bought he went over. Stromey Motors was a Pontiac Cadillac dealer in Pasco. And he got a 55 Pontiac. And we came over here and went down the main road. And I was with him, and he was doing 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
This is a good car. I remember he saying, this is a good car. He went and bought it.
Oh, isn't that something? Oh, that would be so cool to think about that. I wonder how many, think about how many people had gone 100 miles an hour back then. Probably not that many. That's cool. Think about.
A friend of mine, what was he? Oh, they had a 59 Ford. I think it was a Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
And we were over by Wallula Junction. We was coming back towards Burbank, and he was doing 120. And it's in the dark. I didn't like it.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
I was glad when he finally slowed down.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, those Galaxies are cool cars. Yeah, my grandpa has one of those 65 Galaxy 500. Oh. Yeah, it's a neat car. That what were we at? Oh yeah, you were driving up. You got pulled over.
Yeah.
No relief from the trooper.
Nope. No, they set up on the overpass.
Oh yeah.
Whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then they went off
down the on ramp, and
when they went off and caught everybody with speeding.
Oh yeah. It's not. You think they'd give a military guy a little bit of a break just coming back from Vietnam, but of course maybe they were military guys themselves. Who knows?
I don't know.
Getting their job
paid
done.
The fine and got the hell out of there.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. So then you came back home to Tri-Cities?
Yeah. Yeah, in the winter.
Did you take a break, or did you go straight to work, or?
Well, I took they had this course for if you was getting out, you could take these courses, but the only course I could take was for the post office. Because I didn't have enough time. So they sent my records up here, and I got a letter around Christmas time to come in and interview. And by February, I was working.
Okay.
I didn't even get unemployment.
Oh, geez, of course not.
I've never had an unemployment, and I was thinking about that when I come over here today. I never lived in an apartment except temporarily when we was putting a house in out in Badger Canyon.
Yeah.
I've always lived in a house.
Oh, neat.
My folks' and I bought a place right after I got out.
Yeah.
About 1.5 years, 2 years after I got out, I bought a trailer, and then we got married, and I bought a house.
Yeah.
Wasn't much of a house, but we bought a house.
So when you went to the post office, were you a mailman?
Yeah.
Like a walk?
But when you first start, you're they call them a clerk carrier.
Oh, okay.
So they used me as a clerk too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
I liked being out on the street.
Yeah.
But I didn't like in the office.
Yeah.
They had just transitioned from being postal department to a postal service.
Okay.
So there had been a wildcat strike. You probably don't remember that.
No.
The strike was in New York and L.A. It shut everything down.
Okay.
So most of the guys from the department, they were still wearing department uniforms.
Okay.
Instead of the blue stripe, they had purple.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was unionized then?
Yeah.
Postal Service? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times from people that were mailmen, how they loved walking the streets and running into the same people every day
Oh
and
yeah,
all the
people were great.
yeah,
It was in the office. They still thought it was 1890.
yeah.
Sweat house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do what I say, not what I do.
I think it's still that, my mom worked in a few different post offices. I might get in trouble for saying that. Well, we're not putting this out, but yeah, she's kind of said like it's not always that pleasant in the office.
No, no.
She liked working in the one in Glenwood where there's one person in the office because there is no people in Glenwood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they were just there. But that's
In fact, this was after I was retired. I drove school bus. This was my last route over here.
oh really, right by my house here?
Right, I went across the street up and through there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then you said you got married or you
Got married in 74.
okay. How'd you meet? Did you meet your wife when you were doing the post office thing?
When I was in the post office, one of the guys was my wife's cousin.
Oh, okay.
And all us carriers, about once or twice a year, we had a party at his house.
Oh.
And his wife was one of those a matchmaker gal.
Oh yeah. She enjoyed it.
And my wife had just went through a bad thing with an old boyfriend or something. So she invited her for New Year's Eve. So we had a big New Year's Eve party in the basement.
It was a setup.
Yeah. So anyway, I already had a girlfriend, kind of. My sister's neighbor up in Seattle, Linwood.
Oh, okay.
So I was seeing her, and Linda was calling me, and I don't know,
Yeah.
doing this 2-part thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, that one didn't work, and then we got together.
Yeah.
We're together 47 years.
Oh wow. Good for you. That's incredible.
Yeah, the preacher says, "You're two of the most uncompatible people I've ever."
But it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah. And then you said you guys bought a house.
Yeah, down here, there's an old farmhouse. It's right off of Canal Drive and on Kent.
Oh. What'd your wife do for work at the time?
She always did. When she was in high school, she was a nurse's aide in Grandview, and then
okay.
She wasn't working as a nurse's aide when I met her. She was a cook at the Pancake House. It used to be on George Washington Way. It's a Chinese place now.
Oh, okay. I wish it was still a pancake house.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good occupation of a wife to have, making a good breakfast.
Well, anyway, she went back to, when did she do that? Oh, she went back to the nursing home. It's Canyon Lakes now, but it was down there on the other side of Canal Drive called Vista View.
Okay.
So she worked there, and then she worked, where else? I don't remember. She worked down at Life Care. And then her and my mom decided to go into business, and they were cleaning apartments and new construction and stuff like that. And then they quit doing that. My mom quit doing it, so that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So that's when Willie was little. He'd go with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then she went back to work. I believe it was Life Care. And there was this nurse that come in. She was, I forget what they call them. Anyway, she ended up, the nurse talked her into going back to school.
Oh.
She was working at Lady of Lords then when she decided.
Okay.
She was 40 years old. And she went back to school.
Oh, good for her.
She went to CBC, and then she drove, the last 2 years, she drove to Yakima every day.
Oh, wow.
And she became an occupational therapist.
Oh, good for her.
But she didn't work very long.
Yeah. She was raising kids and...
No, she had rheumatoid arthritis. And, one day in fact, she worked overtime on Memorial Day on 2001. She came home and said, "That's my last day. I'm afraid I've dropped somebody."
Yeah. Yeah, well, good for her for being aware enough. That so there's Willie, and then who's your daughter, Chrissy? Christy. Yeah, I've met her once. Is there two, or is there?
That's all.
Those two?
Yeah.
Oh, and they're both really nice. I've known Will. I've hung out with him a few times, but just from what he's done, I think I said for Allie and other people around him, and then Christy seems like everybody likes her who's around her when I've been around her, and it's
we had some tough times with her, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I can tell you, I don't want to speak for Will, but I've seen him around her. He sure seems like he cares about her a lot. So that's a good sign of a good family.
Yeah.
You guys must have done really good with your kids, because they seem to be like really good people. That's normally a good sign.
Yeah. But Linda always said family comes first. So
yeah.
Everything we did was family came first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when you have a good family. That's for sure. It's something I consistently see, like, with these interviews, is people talk about their family, and it's like the ones that, because some of them never had kids, they were busy in their careers or in the military.
Yeah.
And you'll hear, they always talk about their parents or their sisters and brothers, and then the ones that have kids tend to talk, they'll talk about their spouses and their kids. And it's really neat to see how important that is. How many years did you work for the Postal Service?
I actually worked for the post office a little over 30 years, but you got to add in your military time.
Oh, that all went towards your pension and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I had to pay back for Social Security because that wasn't Social Security. I was civil service. But if I wanted a Social Security, I had to pay back from when I was in the military.
Oh, of course.
Which was stupid.
Yeah.
So I paid that back, and then they told me I couldn't have it. So then I outsmarted them. I went to work for the school district and worked 12 years and got enough that I could get a little bit of Social Security. They got a little law that screws you.
Yeah.
The little law says if you're getting civil service and you're eligible for Social Security, you have to take a deduct from the Social Security.
Oh, of course.
So the deduct went from $1,200 down to $400.
Oh my gosh.
But they didn't mind taking the money out.
No, of course not. They sure don't. They sure hate to give it back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild.
Anyway.
That's too bad.
The school district don't pay the whole lot.
Right.
For 12 years. But I think I get $270.
You enjoyed it, though? You enjoyed it?
That's my play money.
Yeah. Good. You got to have...
And my VA benefit.
Yeah, good.
I get a 10% disability for my hearing.
Okay, of course.
But I should be getting more, but they haven't okayed it yet.
Yeah.
I've been trying, but...
Yeah, you're not the first person I've heard that from.
Well, I got because of Agent Orange. You know
Yeah.
what Agent Orange is?
You know, I don't know enough about it.
Well, where I was at, they sprayed everything, so we were all susceptible.
Yeah.
So high blood pressure is one of the symptoms.
Yeah.
And I got that. But it caused kidney disease.
Yeah.
I got third degree or third stage kidney disease. So I should be getting something, but I'm not. They just added it onto my 10%.
Right.
And said, if I get worse, they might reevaluate it. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to die to get it.
Right. Well, I that guy I was telling you about that I ran into at the airport, he told me I'm going to get him on the podcast. He's eager to do it. I need to call him and check. He was traveling a little bit, but he just found somebody to help him out. If you're interested maybe in that contact, I can see if I can get it from him.
Yeah.
Cause he was in Vietnam and he has had quite a few issues from it. So I can message him if you want me to. I don't mind doing that. But then, yeah, I'm sorry that happened. I feel so bad I keep hearing about how the government doesn't take care of the people that have served in the military. And it's hard to understand what's going on these days. Cause it seems like the people that are making willing to take the ultimate sacrifice, whether it's in military or law enforcement.
Yeah.
What's
really ticking us off, though, is the VA is paying all these people. They're involved in the immigration thing.
Oh, yeah.
So not only are they getting Social Security, they're taking medical benefits out of ours, and they get it without even a question asked.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Of course not. You think it's going to change? You think
if Trump gets in?
If we get an administration change, I hope so. Gosh, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
We got to do something different because that's.
I would like an administration change up here in Washington State.
Yeah, we're working on it. Are you? I'm working on getting Dave Reichert in here.
Who?
Dave Reichert.
Oh.
Yeah, he's doing a dinner here like September 19th. They're trying to look at their schedule. We were going to do a video Zoom and get him on my podcast, but he's going to be here the 19th. So I just emailed his.
We had a guy at the VA working for what's that black guy that was running?
Oh, I don't know.
He was on the ballot, but he didn't get very many votes, 9% or something.
I don't know. I like Dave Reichert because I've met him before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I did a meeting with him when he was a congressman. I want to
get rid of Patty Murray.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't want to get that guy that's running for governor.
Oh, Ferguson? Yeah, that guy's.
Oh my God, he's worse than Inslee.
Oh, he's awful. He's awful. Yeah, it's
I can't even buy parts for my guns.
Yeah. So I had you know who Sheriff Bob Songer is? The Klickitat County Sheriff? I had him in here. Oh. And when they came out with that 1639, for changing all the gun laws and everything, he's told them to shove it. He said, nope, that's my citizens' rights. You're not doing anything about it here. He wouldn't enforce it. Well, that Bob Ferguson, the HBO did an interview around him, and he was talking a bunch of trash about it.
If you try to order anything, they won't send it here.
No, I know it. It's all that stuff. Yeah, he told him to go shove it, but
I can still get ammo.
Oh, yeah.
I order ammo online.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. I want to ask you about your hunting. When did you start hunting?
Oh, in 1962 or 3.
So it was before you went to Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. Way before.
What kind of hunting did you
do? First it was deer.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I got to go for elk.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you go for elk?
Right above Dayton here.
Oh, yeah.
And
up into the blues.
A Walla. We did it. That was black powder on a snowmobile in the snow.
Oh, in late season?
Yeah, I don't remember when it was, but...
Did you shoot some big ones?
I didn't shoot anything. But I had to haul one from the bottom of the
oh man
pit. and it ran all the way to the bottom.
Oh yeah. And
So,
those Blue Mountains, that's no joke.
We cut it up into quarters. One guy had the head. One guy had a shoulder, and the other guy had a front shoulder. I got the rear end and the ribs 1/4.
Oh man.
And I made it about halfway up the hill, and I had to leave it for the night.
Oh, I bet.
But halfway up the hill, I remember my gun was loaded.
Yeah.
So I put it against my leg. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
And fired her off.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel any kick when it was up on my shoulder, but it kicked.
Oh yeah. Is it muzzleloader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't shot that thing in 50, 60 years.
Oh, and you still have it though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I got 2. I got replica.
Was it a flintlock
Colt.
muzzleloader?
Huh?
Was
No,
it-
not a flintlock. It was cap and ball.
Oh, cap and ball. Yeah. I was trying to think. I don't know back then what people still were running around with.
They didn't use. I didn't ever see anybody using a flintlock. They're too unreliable.
Yeah. I think they still have a in Pennsylvania. They have a flintlock season.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if out of state can buy it or not, but I guess it's pretty cool. Yep, I saw it on what was that, the Meat Eater podcast? And then you guys did some deer hunting. Did you deer hunt the fields out here? Did you go out into the timber somewhere when you were deer hunting? Did you guys do it same area?
Mostly, yeah, up above Dayton, up in the
blues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any big deer back then?
There was, I don't know if they're what you call the big. They were all the same size as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. you were shooting them.
I never got to shoot one. I haven't shot one deer.
Oh, you
or
haven't?
elk. No.
Oh, but you'd go out hunting.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun hunting stories that you loved? Memories?
I got one. I was going through this timber, and the sun was shining down on this opening, and there stood a buck. And I had my gloves on, and I pushed the safety off, and it didn't go all the way off.
Oh.
And I aimed and was pulling the trigger, trying to pull the trigger, and nothing was happening. I looked down, and I hit the thing, and I looked back up, and he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a beautiful shot.
Oh,
Wow.
Just the perfect setup. It's funny. People talk about like with hunting, we do quite a bit of it, So much has to come together so perfect. It's not like people think where you're out driving. I mean, sometimes it happens, pure luck. People are out driving around, and one just happens to be on public land and they hop out of their truck or whatever, shoot, who knows however they shoot them. But like when you're out there huffing it, there's so much that has to go right. And that one little thing can go wrong.
Yeah.
I've had it where I've been out elk hunting. I had a bull coming right up to me through the trees. And I'm getting ready. I'm down behind sagebrush. It's like this little 5x5 bull, not a big one, but it was a nice, any bull's a nice bull. And that thing's coming in and he's at about 70 yards. And I'm thinking he's going to just walk right by me. I figure he's going to be at like 30 yards broadside. I'm just going to wait for him to keep going by me. Wind's coming in my favor. And all of a sudden that elk takes off. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? Nothing made sense. And so he takes off and I stand up and here's a dang little coyote running through the sagebrush.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are the chances,
I had one out in the plowed field, and I didn't sight my rifle in.
Oh, yeah.
I took 3 shots at him. One was over him, one was under him, and the other one, I don't know where it went. It was a cow elk, and I had a cow tag.
Yeah.
And she was big.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't make the other shot because the cars were there, were on the other side of it.
Oh, yeah. That's smart of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hunted all those years and never got one?
Nah.
Oh, man.
I got a grouse once.
That counts.
Yeah.
You still
all I had was tail feathers.
Oh, what'd you shoot it with?
A 30-06.
Oh, yeah. if you don't shoot the head off him, there.
I had a scope, and he was walking right beside of me. And I said, I seen something move. I looked over there. And he's walking beside of me, and I poof.
Yeah, literally,
and it just
poof.
went poof.
Oh yeah,
and all that was left was a tail.
Oh man, that's something. Yeah, people don't realize the energy that those things have. That's crazy. Did Will ever get into hunting?
He hunted once with an ex-girlfriend. He hunted with her dad.
Yeah.
And he got a deer up at Bickleton or Golden Day or somewhere around in there. He was walking back, wasn't thinking about getting anything. He thought that was it, And he was almost back, and he looked over him, and he said, and there was that deer. A buck.
Yeah.
And he plucked him.
Just that easy. Jeez, wouldn't that be nice? Have you ever looked into any of the places that do the veterans hunts?
No.
Oh, if you want info on that, I can get you info. There's a ranch out of Goldendale, not far from there on High Prairie.
Yeah.
And they take veterans hunting.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're ever interested in that, I can get you the info on that. A couple of the guys I hunt with, they volunteer. Them and their wives volunteer and go down there and cook, and they help process them and stuff. I wish I could think of the name of that ranch. I'll text you that though, just in case. I'll see if I can get the info. But that's one thing I like about the hunting community. There's a lot of resources for veterans to get out and hunt right now.
Mostly I like just to shoot.
Yeah. Oh, you go out to the range and shoot ever?
No place to shoot anymore.
That Rattlesnake gun range, have you been there?
I've never been there.
Oh, we should do that. We should talk Will and go on it.
I got an AK-47 I've never fired.
Well, we got to fix that.
And I got an AR-15. I got my 30-06. It's a semi-automatic.
Oh, it is? Is it a Remington?
Yep.
Is it a model 500? What model is it?
742.
Okay.
It's an anniversary model. I bought it in 1966.
Okay.
And it has you never even heard of them, sharp scope.
Oh, I got to see that. It has a clip, huh? Or is it magazine?
It's got a clip.
Yeah.
4 rounds.
I think my grandpa has one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking it was a model 500, but maybe that's what he traded in and got us. Yeah, so I'll ask him. I got to remember, but those are a sweet gun. They're heavy. If it's the one I'm thinking.
They're heavy?
Compared to what we carry around these days with these composite stocks and everything.
$1,000.
Oh, yeah.
They're expensive now.
The gentleman that was in here yesterday, he has a picture with an M1. Yeah. M1,
I can take one
M1
apart.
Well, I bet.
If I have had one.
Yeah.
I've watched the YouTube stuff enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll message Will because Allie, my girlfriend, she just ordered a brand new rifle. Should be here this week, and we're going to go up to the range. That'd be fun.
What kind of rifle?
It's a 6.5 PRC. It's a hunting rifle.
I heard I was online last night. They said they were talking about some PSEs.
PRC, yeah, it stands for a precision rifle cartridge.
Oh,
so it's like it's a 6.5 caliber. Yeah. It's the 6.5 Creedmoor. You've heard of the 6.5 Creedmoor? It's just a Magnum. Oh, 6.5. So it's pretty high powered bullet. And it's right at the
program. You ought to watch that on YouTube.
Which one?
They were comparing the 30-06 to all these new ones.
Oh yeah.
And the 30-06 was beating them all to hell.
Yeah, I used to shoot a 30-06. I used to shoot a World War II surplus 30-06. What was it? I can't remember the model number. It was a Remington. Was it an A1, A4, A104 or something? Does that sound right?
1903.
No. I can't remember what model it is. I'll have to look it up.
A military rifle?
I think it was a military one, my grandpa said.
My first deer rifle was a 1895 Chilean Mauser.
Oh, really?
I still got it.
Oh, cool. I'd love to see that.
7x57.
Yeah, it's the 757 or whatever. Yeah. I think I saw not that long ago you could buy that ammo in bulk. Is that true? Can you still buy it in bulk?
No. It's expensive.
Oh, of course.
It's almost obsolete.
Oh, it is now.
You can get it, but I just bought some 8mm, 8x57.
Oh yeah.
Because I got Willie's got one too. But it's in my safe.
Oh okay.
He bought me one, and he bought one. I think they're Yugoslavian.
Yeah.
Almost like a K98.
Those are the ones I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they're like a K98.
Yep.
Well, they had Greek 8mm ammo on sale. In fact, they might have it. I bought 100 rounds, I think. They were sold out, and I told somebody about it, and I looked at that, and they said sold out. But then 3 weeks ago, I was on there, and they were selling it in bulk.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of, the 8x57. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few people picking those guns up just to have fun with them. Go out there and shoot whatever. Only in America can you just buy whatever and go out and shoot whatever. Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We'll see how long they let us do that, but at least there's too many of us armed now. But yeah, we should do something like that. It'd be fun. I guess I don't know what time we're at if you're getting tired, but what one thing I was going to ask is a few of your hobbies. What do you like to do now? Did you ever get into cars? What's that?
I garden.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Grow vegetables or flowers?
Yeah, I got tomatoes. My green beans haven't come on yet. And my cucumbers but they haven't really done anything yet.
Yeah.
But I got lots of tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. They grow pretty good out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
And I got a couple of pepper plants.
Do you make salsa or anything with them?
No, there's green peppers.
Oh, okay.
When I used to live out in the canyon, I grew hot peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Habaneros and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun to grow stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice.
But that out there was good soil.
Yeah.
We had no rocks at all.
Yeah.
It was like a riverbed, just soil.
Yeah. There's a lot of that around here. It's pretty amazing everything that grows in Washington, even this area. People don't realize that we grow peaches, apricots, strawberries, apples, onions, but everything grows around here. It's crazy.
Yeah,
we're pretty lucky. Of course, now it's all wine not all wine, but a lot of wine.
Well, they're gonna do like most farmers do.
Sell off.
Plant too much of one crop, and then their price is going to go to hell.
Yeah, yeah. They're going to mess up their own supply and demand.
Yeah, that's what farmers always do.
Yeah.
They all jump on the wagon after the fact.
It makes you wonder if that's the good Lord telling you you're getting a little too greedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably getting here on some time. I really appreciate you sitting down here and telling me your story and visiting. It's it's fascinating. I love it. I really enjoy visiting with you. I was going to say, if there's one, like I told you before, we'd like to get a little piece of advice. Is there anything you look back on piece of advice you'd give to the younger generations?
Yeah. Go to school.
Yeah.
But also, school doesn't do everything.
Yeah. I like that.
I like it. I like what they call it, where they send you. They got a school over here by the bus barn. They train chefs and.
Oh, culinary?
Yeah,
culinary arts school.
They got dental assistants and all that.
Oh, trade schools.
Trade school.
Yeah.
I believe in trade school.
Yeah, me too.
The bad thing is, we don't have any plumbers and electricians anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they got to go to college.
Yeah. It's amazing because you look now too, like, so I work in data centers. Of course, you have pipe fitters, sheet metal workers, electricians. They have a shortage of manpower electricians. Yeah. And some of these guys are making close to $200,000 a year. And here the people with 4-year degrees are doing.
Willie's cousin works out there too.
Yeah, yeah.
He went to college 6 years, and decided he was going to be a lawyer. He decided he could make more money as an electrician.
Yeah. A little bit more honest too, probably. I think that's a really good piece of advice, especially somebody that's, been around the block and seen it all and you're paying attention. It's the trades are where it's at.
I do wish I had went back to school after I got out of the Navy.
Yeah.
And I do wish I'd have stayed in the reserves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can tell that you're passionate about your military service. I really respect that. I think that's I could feel it. I really respect that a lot because like I told you, I don't have the guts, so I just admire anybody that served in the military. It's a credible set.
It isn't all what you think.
Yeah, I've heard that too. To me, it is though. Keep letting me think that it's all the tough guys, but and the women too that served in the military that have sat here with me. Yeah, I've heard it's fun. And you talk about family. You talked about family. That's one thing I hear about people that come out of the military. They're like, it's like if you've never had a family and you go into the military, you find a family.
I'll tell you what. There's another piece of advice. When you go in the military and you go overseas, you really learn what you have here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky, aren't we?
Yeah. People don't realize.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
I wonder how to get it so people do. I think you should travel. I think people should travel, even just around the United States, because you're not very far from getting into a poverty line. You go down out into the South somewhere in the middle of nowhere and it's still, you'll get some culture, but even what do they say? The poorest people in America are the richest people in the world.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to carry mail over on the east side. Blacks.
Yeah.
Before the Mexicans moved in.
Yeah.
They were the friendliest people.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them were the friendliest people you could have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I wonder if they can, because a lot of them came from the South. In Southern hospitality is a real thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I think that's, I think it's important for people to get some culture.
When I was going to college, I worked in battery and wheel shop over here in Oregon Street in Lewis. And one time they hired this old guy. Boy, he couldn't clock himself out. He couldn't read or write.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe somebody couldn't read and write.
Yeah.
That's really terrible.
It makes you wonder what kind of life he grew up in. It kept him from...
He was a nice guy, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of life you live along where you don't end up reading or writing. I think it was a little bit more common, back in the early 1900s with a lot of, orphans and people like that.
Well, Kennewick was all white.
Oh.
When I went to school.
Really?
There was a sign on the old bridge. They had to be out of town by 9 o'clock.
Oh, really? Jeez.
That was in the 60s.
Was there a big deal when it changed? The civil rights movement?
That was while I was in high school.
Huh.
They came over and marched in front of Kennewick High. Well, we were told to stay in the school.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because some of them were just looking for trouble.
Yeah.
So.
What was the feeling amongst your peers then? Like with as far as racism, were people very racist?
We never talked about it.
Yeah. You never thought one way or the other? You just thought this is the way it was? Or?
Yeah. And when I went in the Navy, you were in a compartment full of guys, and they were Mexican, black. We didn't care. Yeah. We all lived together.
Yeah. I always think about that. It's something so weird to me. It's obvious. I believe that, right? Together we're strong, divided we're weak.
Yeah.
And they just continuously try to break us.
Divide us.
Divide us, yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're the nicest people, all culture. I mean, I love cultures. I think, people are so amazing.
Me too.
One of the best things that ever happened to me was...
We got a lot of Mexicans up there where I go to church.
Yeah.
I go to church in Prosser.
Yeah.
So
Everybody just gets along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I really believe that is the way it is. But there's that fringe minority that they can influence to think that that's not the way it is. And it's,
yeah.
I mean, you're always going to have a few that, but normally it has nothing to do with skin color. It's just because it's a tribalism type thing.
We got a couple of guys that come in the VFW. They get along with everyone. Nobody I've ever heard say anything about
Oh, yeah.
They're black.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And there was one of the VFW officers from Yakima. He came down. He was black. We were out there in the parking lot talking.
Yeah.
Just like we were friends from the old days.
Yeah, the good old boys club. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I like to hear that. I'm glad you brought that up because I was just curious about it. That's, something I never experienced. Because I lived, like I said, I lived in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And there was every different culture there. Every different culture. There's a few Navy bases and stuff there in Jacksonville. And we just loved it.
Jacksonville, where's that at?
Northeastern Florida, right south of the Georgia border. Oh. It's Mayport.
My dad trained down there. He said it was the coldest place he ever been. I think it was on the Panhandle part.
Oh, over in Pensacola?
Pensacola.
Yeah, there's a Navy base over there. Yeah. I think that's where the Blue Angels are out of, actually, the fighter jets, yeah. Yeah.
He took machine gun training there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That was your dad?
They had...
was that for the turret machine guns? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the machine guns they practiced on down there were BB guns.
Oh, really?
With air running through them.
Oh, like the ones at the fair where you shoot the star out or something like that?
Yeah.
That's funny. We had a gentleman on here. Mally's Pharmacy. Remember in Richland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
So I interviewed.
Oh, yeah. I used to pick up mail there.
Yeah. So I interviewed Bill Malley, the owner.
Yeah.
And he, he was World War II.
Yeah.
Well, he never was in combat, but he was training for combat for a B-29 bomber. Does that sound right?
B-29 was the biggest bomber.
Yeah, there was
pressurized.
There was the B-17, then the B-29, right?
Yeah, B-29 was way bigger than the B-17.
Yep. So at first, I think he went for the B-17, and then they were transitioning to the B-29.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how to be a gunner, they were training him on the ground.
Yeah.
And a guy would fly, I think it was a Cub or something, with a flag way behind it. And the pilot would be like, make sure and shoot behind, let me go by first. And I was like, that pilot had some guts. You're right, you can pull it back in. But yeah, we're probably getting it a couple hours, but yeah, I appreciate it. I really enjoyed visiting with you. I looked forward to this, and I'm glad you did it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think we'll be good.